Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to yet another Throwback Thursday with me, Peter, the master of hotheads, throwing back with the final throwback of Samuel Smith's beer. The last Samuel Smith beer I've left. I have one more, but that's not going to be a throwback because I never reviewed it, the Imperial Stout. But we're throwing back with what I remember being my favorite Samuel Smith's lower strength beer, and this is their Oatmeal Stout on 5%. So yeah, this was one of those beers back in the day where I just really loved it hard. My gateway into beer was classic English ales. Nowadays, stuff like that is not the gateway into beer. It's often modern craft beer and cool, exciting new flavors. But a lot of these old money beers still are fantastic and for sure worth your time. So this is a 5% oatmeal stout brewed with barley, cane sugar, roasted barley, and the other barley being malted barley, probably some crystal malts too, and oatmeal, and then of course yeast hops. And it says carbon dioxide because they probably force carbonate. Some brewers do that, most brewers do that. Not too many do it the old school way of carbonating the beer. Or this, maybe it's just to have everything displayed on there because all beers have carbon dioxide. So yeah, not much info as with all the Samuel Smith beers. A beautiful, very old school looking picture on there, but it's just the same info as all the beers, and then just a couple of notes that says that it's an opaque, wonderfully silky and smooth textured ale with complex medium dry palate and a bittersweet finish. So yeah, but this used to be one of my favorites. I loved this beer a lot back in the day, so I thought it'd be really fun to revisit. So let's check out the Oatmeal Stout. Pours a black color. It looks like pretty much an English stout. There's a little bit of a reddish hue to it, but yeah, it looks nice. One finger tan head pouring out. It looked beautiful. It was very rich and fluffy. Besides this one, I think my other favorite beer so far, revisiting the beers, has, even though I scored all the beers pretty much the same, I think my favorite was the Taddy Porter. That was just awesome. But I think so far it's been a joy to revisit these Samuel Smith beers, especially because all these bottles have been reasonably fresh. But let's check out the aroma on this one. Oh man, that smells so nostalgic. It smells a little less sharp on the roast character than the Taddy Porter, but then it has layers of sweet oaty oatmeal. Like sweet oaty, almost vanilla nuances. Caramel, roasted malt. There is a little bit of a brown sugar type thing, almost something reminding me of Danish hvidtøl for some reason, and also rye bread. Hvidtøl, I think it's because of the sugar nuance, like a brown sugar there, because they add brown sugar to hvidtøl after bottling or after fermentation to sweeten it. Danish low strength beer. It just reminds me a bit of that. There is a little bit of an ester, but not as much as in the porter, at least in the aroma. There is a little bit of a dark fruit nuance, and also some licorice. Also lots of toffee, and not as much diacetyl as in a few of the other beers by Samuel Smith. But let's try this one. Cheers. Revisit this bad boy. I think, when did I have this last? At least 5 years ago, I think. And I reviewed it back in 2010. So, it's been a while. Let's try it. Cheers. That's a really nice oatmeal stout. It's really velvety for a 5% beer. Quite chocolatey too. And it has loads of that cane sugar or brown sugar type flavor to it. It's like, it's not too much, but it's like a flavor profile that really reminds me of hvidtøl and whatnot. It's funny because recently I used Marston's Oyster Stout for cooking. They're almost the same ABV. This has so much more mouthfeel than that beer. Like loads. It's really velvety and slick. That beer was just like really dry and light and watery. And then it was much more tart and astringent compared to this. This is really, really soft on the palate. Not heavy on roasted malt complexity, but it's definitely there. It gives a flavor profile of toasted nuttiness. I think it's a combination of the roasted malt and crystal malt that gives that, or something other like that. And then throughout the entire experience, you're getting this layer of sweet oaty flavor. Just think of eating oatmeal. It sounds weird, but oatmeal you don't associate with sweetness. But there is something about it that has a slightly, or oat milk might be a better like example that just like almond milk has like a little bit of sweetness to it. Toasty, bready, rye bready, caramel toffee. Like it's the most clean, so to speak, of all the beers. It's definitely the one with the least esters. But what is there is slightly blackcurrant like, but it's super light. It's like slightly jammy. It's also a beer with the least amount of diacetyl. There's not much of a butterscotch toffee type flavor profile in this, which is nice. But it's so crushable. Like, if I'm to drink lighter, darker beers, I'd love to drink something like this. And I'd love to drink something like this, like a 5%, like milk stout or something like that, with this kind of mouthfeel, maybe just a hint of chocolate and whatnot. Like, some of these, it'd be fun to see some of these British, like, classic breweries play around with some adjuncts. I know they already do a chocolate stout. I'm not as big a fan of that beer compared to this, just because it tasted a bit synthetic. But this is a great like English oatmeal stout. Don't think like over the top crazy flavors. Just think balance, harmony, and just ultra crushability. Like you could easily knock back a few of these. Definitely my favorite. Oh, it's really nice. Yeah, I think it's like this is number one, and then the Taddy Porter is number two, and then maybe the India Ale, and then finally the Nut Brown Ale, but they're all really, really great classic beers. I think I'm going to score this one a little higher than the others, maybe like a 92, 91, something like that. Not a whole lot higher. It's not like mind-blowing beer, but it's just so well-made, crushable, classic beer that is exactly how it's supposed to be. So I urge you guys to try and get a bottle of this if you can, and if you want to revisit it or just try it for the first time, because it's great classic beer. And don't expect over-the-top flavors. Just expect a good amount of flavor for a 5% beer and soft, delicate complexities, which is awesome. So yeah, really good. It's really fun to revisit this bad boy. I haven't had it in so long. There's also flavors in here that reminds me of the Imperial Stout as far as I remember, because that also had like a little bit of the same kind of roasty, almost lightly sugary profile. But I think that's also like at least 5 years ago I had that one. So we'll see whenever I crack that and see how that does fare, because I think it's similar to this to some extent. It's only like 7%. It's not a big beer by modern standards, but yeah, this is really nice. So fun to revisit Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. So if you guys had it in recent times, let me know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos, and I'm going to say cheers in this delicious Throwback Thursday beer, and see you guys in another one. Cheers.